What is going on, guys? This is Dealer here, back again talking about the next Xbox, and yes, it is going to be much more powerful than many of you believe. And of course, I'll have all the source information for this video linked down below, you know, like you're supposed to do. Also, I know I'm gonna get tons of questions. This is World War Z running on the Xbox One X. I did a review on this for a reason. Check it out, I'll link it down below. Anyway, yeah, there's a very real possibility Microsoft are going to have the edge yet again, like with the Xbox One X, yet again with the Xbox Anaconda. I've been talking about how I know the Anaconda's faster for months. We got insiders talking about it. Let's get into it. Now, pay no mind to those that are now saying the next Xbox's power won't matter, even though they spent years talking up the Xbox One X and how every game is so amazing and so much better. Absolutely blows my mind. Well, this is the first of two things we are going to talk about today. More insiders speaking out on Xbox Anaconda's capabilities. Next generation Xbox reportedly more advanced than the PS5. Finally, some insiders are starting to speak up, and if you remember, I've been talking about this for months and months and months. I've seen several things behind the scenes that really have me convinced that no matter what Sony does, Microsoft will have that performance advantage. And according to this, it's going to be quite significant. Be that some kind of custom chipset, memory solution, or raw power, they are going to make their presence known. And this article seems to back that up. This article is referencing a Twitter account that belongs to journalist Ansley Bowden. This particular source is fairly reliable, and they do say that multiple sources are confirming that the Xbox Anaconda, which is the high-end Xbox, is going to be more advanced than the PlayStation 5. Meanwhile, Xbox insider Clobreel, shout out to Clobreel, he was actually in the chat of the last RDX podcast, is also confirming on Reset Era that Microsoft is intending for the Xbox Anaconda to be the clearly better performing device, quote unquote. Now, this is very interesting. For one, you take every single thing Clobreel says and you definitely better pay attention to it. Track record's too good. I don't care if people call him an insider or not. He knows too much not to be an insider. Bowden, on the other hand, also has a fairly good track record. Multiple sources confirming the same thing with them. Add to that the fact that I've also seen some things behind the scenes clearly stating that they intend to be the market leader for the high-value gamer, while their Xbox Lockhart intends to shoot for new console gamers and the casual market. Now, of course, there will be a lot of you that go for Lockhart due to its sheer value proposition, but just know that internally, thanks to the document that I've seen, I know that Microsoft are primarily targeting new console owners with the low-end Lockhart. Also, they will most likely market this as a 1080p 60 FPS machine, and I would agree with that decision. Fortified teraflops is just enough to have a phenomenal 1080p 60 FPS experience on AAA titles, especially considering its newer RAM and architecture. Of course, that new Zen 2 CPU is the biggest enabler of that new 60 FPS standard, and hopefully that will be the standard for a lot of developers. They may even include 30 FPS modes with 1440p or checkerboard 4K resolutions. Either way, Lockhart is going to be pushing out much better looking games than current generation Xboxes, and this does include the X. Overall system architecture is much more balanced and will enable more volumetrics and demanding effects. It's going to look phenomenal, and I don't blame anybody who's going to pick one of these things up. Now, of course, that sounds great, but some of you may be saying, well, I have an Xbox One X, why would I go from 6 teraflops all the way down to 4 or 5? Well, like I said, it's simple. The system has much more balance. Yes, on the GPU, you may be slightly slower, but overall, your performance can be higher due to the lack of bottlenecks. As I said 1,000 times, these will be the most balanced systems of all time, meaning there is no one component holding back the others in the system, at least at most practical resolutions. Get the right combination of frame rate and resolution, you've got a phenomenal experience with some very, very high graphical settings. This goes for Xbox Anaconda as well. But wait, there's more! Now on Twitter, @dealer_gaming, of course, feel free to follow me, send me a DM. I'm always getting tagged in different things, or insiders, quote unquote, are tagging me themselves. I was tagged in a thread talking about dedicated ray tracing blocks on Xbox Anaconda's GPU itself, meaning this could be that performance advantage that Xbox Anaconda holds. And before people come in saying ray tracing is too demanding and blah 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 blah, consider that this is custom built for the Xbox itself, using perhaps custom chipsets to leverage this technology. This thread also mentions that this dedicated block on the GPU itself could be used for ray tracing as well as other things. This includes physics and more. That excites me, and I do believe you are looking at some kind of technology like this in the next Xbox, at least the high-end one at the very least. One thing's for sure, you are looking at something very special come 2020. The PlayStation 5 is rumored to be around 10 teraflops right now, I do believe, but there are so many of these things flying around. One thing's for sure, Sony are interested in high-speed memory, high-speed storage. I found it odd that Mark Cerny focused on an SSD hard drive more than anything, and this could be perhaps the biggest selling point of the PlayStation 5. Lightning fast storage. It is appealing to gamers. They could leverage this and do something with it in terms of technology, in terms of gameplay. We will have to see. The next Xbox is reportedly doing something very similar, if not the same. And with new GPU-driven compression and decompression, they are able to do all kinds of things on console. One thing's for sure, Microsoft and Sony are definitely going to be implementing ray tracing, and no, it will not be used just for sound. As literally one of the first guys in the world talking about ray tracing being done on the next consoles, because it is. I am excited to see how they leverage the technology itself. I'm not going to shoot it down before I see it in action. I'm definitely not going to shoot it down before I see how efficient this technology is on console. Keep in mind, it could be a rudimentary form, a custom form that is extremely effective and far less demanding than that on PC. Will the PC have a higher rasterization level? Yes, it will. But that does not mean ray tracing will not change visuals on console to a significant degree. In either case, I guess we will have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts down below. We've got all kinds of awesome stuff to talk about. We are doing RDX podcast yet again, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Last week we had Xbox's Micheal on. It was a phenomenal time. This week we plan on having a great show as well. Also, shout out to all the new patrons. If you didn't know, this is kind of a tech-driven channel, but we do keep up with all of the latest and greatest on Xbox. We do not upload daily content because that's impossible to actually have daily relevant news, but we do try to make videos matter here. There is a purpose to these things, and we do discuss a lot of really cool stuff on the horizon. If you want to become a patron, support the channel, there's all kinds of options down there for you. Check out that link. If you like this video, hit that like button, maybe share this with a buddy or two if you get a second. Subscribe if you're new. Stay tuned for more. I'm Dealer. I'm out.